Hey everybody. So I wanted to continue the discussion about female narcissism. I wanted to talk about, I left off of saying, if your girlfriend or if your wife is constantly negative towards women, criticizing them, demeaning them, that's not a good sign. If your wife or your girlfriend is constantly trying to keep you to herself, meaning it seems that she always has a problem with you hanging out with your friends. It seems that she's constantly telling you that your friends are not good for you. It seems as though you never have something completely to yourself, meaning if you like playing the guitar, or if you like drawing, or if you like golf, and you really love Sunday night football, and that's a huge passion of yours, and you love going out with your guy friends and getting a few beers and watching basketball or football or whatnot, and your wife or girlfriend plays the victim in these situations and talks about how you never make enough time for her, how this or that, and how this is a partnership and how this is a couple, etc., etc., etc. There's a huge problem with that. It may seem very subtle, and it may even seem like she's being romantic, as if she's trying to cultivate some sort of intimacy with you that's, exclusive. And the problem is, it's exclusivity is the real problem. It's easier for female narcissists to play victims, because men are not encouraged in society to play the role of the victim. Men are expected to deal with their emotions, are expected to deal with their problems, and to basically bite the bullet and deal with it and figure out a solution to the problem. But women are given a free pass with regard to this. They don't always have to take as much accountability as men do. And the amount of accountability women take depends on the woman, of course, but as a general premise within society, it's more acceptable for women to be victims, and female narcissists bank on this all the time. They will feign illnesses in order for you to break your plans with your friends. They will talk about how your friend is being rude to them. I know one female narcissist who was dating a guy, and his best friend of many years forgot her birthday. And mind you, this person didn't even really know her that well. And that was enough to play the victim and to basically make the person feel as though they are responsible for the behavior of their friend, which is ridiculous. You're not responsible for the behavior of your close friends. You're not responsible for other people's actions and for other people's oversights. But the female narcissist will constantly pick and pick. If they can't pick at you, they'll pick at your inner circle. They'll try to talk about how this friend is not motivating you enough, or that friend is, a bum, or that friend is, if you're going to hang out with these sorts of people, honey, you'll never make it in life because they're losers. And they make you feel as though you are the greatest guy in the world, and that your other friends are holding you down, or are trying to wreck your life by their mediocrity. And your ego starts getting inflated with this female narcissist. You have this beautiful woman at your side who's sort of like trying to present herself as a Bonnie to your Clyde, and you're completely enraptured by her. And so, bit by bit by bit by bit, you start isolating yourself from your guy friends, their friends, their girlfriends, and you start living for this woman. Anytime she senses that you are getting a life of your own, she has a physical problem, she has an emergency, there's something wrong with her mother, there's something wrong with her grandmother, there's something that she has that needs your attention more than you need to give yourself attention. And there's even, I will admit that men are encouraged to be chivalrous in romantic relationships. They are encouraged to sacrifice a lot of their own selves for women. And it's this chivalrous figure of the guy that's the downfall of the guy. Because if you have nothing for yourself, if your girlfriend or wife is not encouraging you to be a bit of yourself, okay, and to basically to love yourself in your own way and to have your own passions, then it basically makes you into a slave. It doesn't even have to be a financial sort of slavery, although it very often is. It's just an emotional slavery that you can't just do your own thing. You're guilted for that. You're seen as being aloof and like a macho figure, or one of the boys, or you're seen as not caring enough about your girlfriend or your wife. And female narcissists are so good at guilt tripping, their targets. They're so good at guilt tripping them. Because if you've been planning for 3 weeks to watch Sunday Night Football, and you've picked a venue, and you've gotten all these beers, and you've allocated all this time to get the beer pong tables up and everything, and then at the very last minute, your wife or your girlfriend has an issue. It could be anything. It could be a headache. It could be like her feeling pissed off at what your friend did the other night. And she forces you to completely cut off this huge plans that you had to caretake her. That if you have a child, she's going to think of some sort of thing with this child that's going to force you to break your plans and force you to completely abandon your friends and acquaintances for her, or for in the name of your child. Even though it's just bullshit. It's just her feigning illnesses. There's Munchausen syndrome, there's Munchausen by proxy. So the whole theme of this, the main theme of this is, if you feel that this person is taking away from your life the way it would have been if you were a single person, there's a problem. I mean, to a certain degree, right? When you stop being single, you have to accommodate your partner in certain respects. But if your partner is not allowing you to be yourself, not encouraging you to be yourself, and not sharing in things that make you happy, Maybe she hates football, but it's not a reason to not allow you to have that interest. You know, these are all sources of female narcissism. These are all signs of female narcissism. If the woman is not interested in the world, is not interested in discovering the world, if talking to people that have different interests makes her bored. In a sense, female narcissism is very similar to male narcissism. It's the same personality disorder. It's this need for control. It's this need to have people serve you, to have your environment serve you. And so I would encourage men to really to not be afraid of being, to insist that you need time for yourself. And it's the same thing with females that are dating male narcissists. If you notice, you never have time for yourself. They're constantly jealous of any time that you spend on yourself. And that's all I have to say. If anybody has any questions, any comments about this issue, I would love to answer them, because, I've dealt with many female narcissists, and I feel that society enables them a lot of the time, because they feel that good looks are a meal ticket, and in many cases they succeed in creating this meal ticket for themselves. They meet people that are duped, they suck them dry, they take half of the person's assets that they've worked very hard for, and that's it. And it's basically a form of legalized prostitution, in my opinion. They have the same mentality as a prostitute would have, except that they operate on a larger timeline, and because of their disorder, they get supply in the process of prostituting themselves. So, let me know what you guys think about this. I have many examples of female narcissism in my life, and for women, to set yourselves apart from these influences, worry about the things that you are passionate about, and don't let anybody convince you that they're not important. I really hope that the right men will find the right women, and that we can put an end to this sort of vampirism and this complete soul torture of the female narcissist. Don't accept people in your life that are demanding of you that you give everything of yourself, that you completely sacrifice all your time and your assets on them. Many times female narcissists will guilt trip men, for not spending enough on them. Don't fall for that. You're not obligated to give everything, all of your finances, to somebody. It's the 21st century. We need to transcend these gender stereotypes. I encourage you to not feed parasitic women. That's all I have to say. Kisses.